Hi, this is Gail from New Mother, New Baby, and today I am doing a video on how to navigate the first week at home with your baby. This is a very difficult time for many new parents going home with a newborn, and I thought I would try to just give you a little more detailed explanation of what to do when you get home and common concerns that many new parents have. A little bit about me. Again, my name is Gail, and I own a lactation center in Northbrook, Illinois called New Mother, New Baby, just outside of Chicago. And I also work at one of our local hospitals, so I'm very familiar with the first few days in the hospital, as well as the first week and beyond at home with your newborn. So the first question is, how often should I feed my baby and for how long? So as a general guide, we like to say that we want you to feed your baby 8 to 12 times per 24 hours, which is approximately every 2 to 3 hours. It may be a little more frequently than that, and it may be a little less frequently than that, but in general, we want to make sure that you get 8 feedings in per 24 hours. We want you to listen for swallowing, which a lot of times you won't hear the first few days, but you will start hearing as more milk starts coming in. So after probably around the 3rd or 4th day, you may start hearing some swallowing at the feedings. You may see a little bit of spitting up, and you may see some milk in your baby's mouth when they're nursing. Typically, your milk comes in 3 to 5 days after delivery. So basically what that means is you have the exact right amount of milk every day that your baby needs. But after about 3 to 5 days, your breast can become very, very full and very uncomfortable. And some women don't realize that that is a normal part of the lactation process. This can be uncomfortable. Some of the things that you can do if you are very engorged, in between feedings, we recommend using green cabbage leaves and ice packs. So the green cabbage leaves you actually can put in the refrigerator to cool, wash them off, and then put the leaf over your breast, and you can put the ice pack on top of that and just kind of use that on and off in between feedings. Right before feedings, we recommend using some warm compresses. You can get in the shower and do some massage in the shower. The heat will be good. It helps your milk to flow, and then try to breastfeed right after that. You can use the heating pad. You can lower your breasts into a sink of warm water. There are products on the market. One of them is, this is called a booby tube. And what you do with this is you basically just put this in the microwave for 45 seconds approximately, depending on your microwave. You put this over your breast. You let it sit on there for 5 or 10 minutes. Then after that, you can take it. You can take your breast and do some gentle massage. You can use, this is called the Levi massager. There's also, this is a electronic buzzing massager that sometimes breaks up some of that, just helps the milk to flow in there when everything is sort of stuck and not moving. You can also just use your hands and just take your hands and just go around your breasts, closer to the nipple, all the way back, all around, and a lot of times that will really help the milk to flow. The engorgement process can seem like it's never gonna end, but I promise you, after 24 to 48 hours of really trying to remove that milk at every feeding, it will get better and your breasts will soften. So it does get better, so that's good to know. Okay, sometimes when your breasts are super engorged like that, it can be difficult for the baby to latch. So that's a very common question that people will call and say, my baby was nursing great at the hospital and now I'm home and now my baby won't latch, so what am I gonna do? So some of the things you can do is, you can take your fingers, put them next to your areola and push back towards your chest wall. Sometimes that will push some of the milk away from your breast, and it will actually help, and your baby will be able to latch on. You can also kind of take your breast and really compress it. Try to make a sandwich, and really you have to be sort of assertive about getting the baby, you're gonna compress your breast with one hand and really get the baby on quickly with the other hand. And that is also very helpful. We sort of call it the sandwich analogy, where when you eat a sandwich, you kind of compress it and then you put it in your mouth, just to think of a big sandwich if you've ever eaten a big sandwich like that. So you really have to try to work to get the baby latched on. If you went home with a nipple shield, that can also be helpful. So a nipple shield, this is a nipple shield. It's a soft silicone shield. It kind of looks like a little sombrero. And it's silicone and it's clear, which sometimes when they fall, it can make them hard to find. But what you're gonna do with this is you can put this right over your nipple, and you can see it gives a little bit better target for the baby to latch onto when your breast is really full. And an engorged breast can literally feel like a bowling ball. It's just not supple at all, and it can be difficult for the baby to latch onto. You can also, if you have a pump, you can try pumping a little and see if that gets some of it out. You can also try doing some hand expression. And there's a very good video by Jane Morton, MD, on hand expression, and you can just Google that and watch that, and that can be very helpful as well. So how do you know if your baby's getting enough? You wanna look by day 4, you wanna see 5 to 6 wet diapers and 2 or 3 or more poopy diapers. Remember, if your baby's breastfeeding, poopy diapers can look very yellow and seedy by day 4. They're not stools that are formed. They're very sort of liquidy, pea soup consistency, and that is all very normal. If you're mixing it with some formula, you may find that it's a little bit more formed. So just so you have an idea. If you're only breastfeeding and you don't see any poopy diapers, let's say your baby's day 4 or day 5 and 24 hours have gone by and you don't see any poopy diapers, that is generally a sign that your baby may not be getting enough to eat, in which case you want to call your pediatrician immediately and schedule an appointment with a lactation consultant. Now, I know during these times, many lactation consultants are not doing one-on-one visits or not doing home visits. So it's definitely a more challenging time, but that doesn't mean a phone consult or a telemedicine consult won't be extremely helpful. I am doing a lot of them now, and I know the moms are very thankful and they are getting a lot of information, and it can really help to calm your anxiety that you may be feeling. Every new mother really deserves support when she gets home from the hospital, and I'm so sorry that we're all going through this, but we're all going through it together, and there are lactation consultants across the United States that are ready to help you with your breastfeeding challenges. If you, for some reason, feel like your baby's not getting enough to eat at the breast, if you have a breast pump, start pumping and give them some of that milk in a bottle. It's okay, as long as you're getting some help, we will get the baby back to the breast. I've been doing this for 24 years, and typically the baby does very well getting back to the breast once the milk is in and with a little bit of help and encouragement. Sore nipples. What if your nipples are sore? So a couple things about sore nipples. Many times you read on the internet that if you're having any sore nipples, that is not normal. The truth is, after being a lactation consultant for 24 years and working in the hospital and in the outpatient setting, I find the first 10 days to 2 weeks, many women experience some soreness when they're nursing. Sometimes you have to push through that first minute and things get better. The baby pulls in more breast tissue, and moms will often say, oh yeah, you know what, after the baby's on for a minute, it feels better. And many moms have thanked me for letting them know that sometimes you do have to push through a little bit and things do get better. And once the latch gets deeper and better, things do get better. Sore, cracked, and bleeding nipples, now that's another story. If you see bleeding, if you see cracks on your nipple, please call your pediatrician, please call your obstetrician rather. There is an ointment called Newman's All-Purpose Nipple Ointment, and that can often really help if you have cracked and sore and bleeding nipples. There are some other things. There is a product, there's lanolin that you often get in the hospital. I like the Mother Love Nipple Ointment. The Earth Mama has a really good nipple ointment, Bamboobies. There's many different nipple ointments out there that can really help. And many moms will use the nipple ointment. This is called a breast shell for sore nipples. You see how it's sort of like a dome here? So the other thing you can do is put some of that nipple ointment on. This is kind of one of my favorite treatments. And then use these inside, you kind of put it over your nipple. It has little holes. I don't know if you can see the holes, but there's little holes in here. That might be better. And it lets the air get to it. So if you're using some, let's say the Mother Love Nipple Ointment or maybe you need to use the Newman's nipple ointment with the brush shell over it. It can make your nipple feel a lot better, and they will heal very quickly once you give them a little bit of help. Sometimes people, again, will, if you have a nipple shield, you can get these online on Amazon, at Target. You can put the nipple shield on, and sometimes that will be enough of a barrier to make it a little bit more comfortable. So the baby will latch on and it won't hurt so much. It can also help to get the discharge weight before you leave the hospital. So you might want to ask the nurse, what was my baby's last weight? Because they weigh the baby every day while you're in the hospital. So let's say a baby is 7'4". Well, the baby may leave the hospital, it might be 6'12" or 6'13". So you want to find out what the lowest weight is. So when you go back to the pediatrician, you know if the baby's starting to gain or is starting to stay the same. Generally, you will go back to the pediatrician within 48 to 72 hours post-discharge, so you'll make sure that the baby's gaining weight, and the pediatrician will give you a directive as to what to do if for some reason the baby's not gaining enough weight. So we wish you good luck, and if you have any questions, please reach out and find a lactation consultant and get some help. It really, really helps. We wish you the best. Giving your baby breast milk is a gift that will last a lifetime. So breast milk is a live substance. It's really important all the time. It's like giving your baby a vaccination every time you feed them. So if you are producing milk and you can give breast milk, we highly, highly encourage it. We wish you the best. Stay safe during these times, and good luck.